2 buyers using exactly the same information, asking for exactly the same thing. I'm selling a mower on Facebook Marketplace. I get a message from Jerson saying she's interested. I check out her profile. She has friends. The account was created a few years ago. Seems like a legit account. I tell her that we're doing cash only because there are a lot of scams going on. She asks, what's the meeting location, the condition of the mower, and how long has it been used? I tell her. She says, sounds good. I'll buy it. Then she asks if her sister can pick it up tomorrow because she just had a baby. Then she sends me a picture of a baby. Ah, yes, so now it's a scam. Next, I get a message from Carly. Carly immediately asks me, what's the meeting, location, and condition, blah, 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 how long has it been used? I check out her profile. Seems like a legit account, so I respond. She says she'll buy it. She then asks if her sister can pick it up tomorrow because she just had a baby. She then sends me the same picture of the same baby that Jerson, what a name, just sent me. This has to be a scam, right? But what is the scam? You know, I've often wondered, I think usually what they'll do is they'll still try to convince you to pay digitally in some way. I swear to God, it's super obnoxious. The whole sending someone else to pick up a thing is just a setup or script to run a fake payment, fake check scam to try and con you into sending money to them. You got the same story because the scammers are from the same area, likely Nigeria or India, so they're using the same script. Sometimes it's a family member or friend they claim will come. Sometimes it's a mover. The best way to tell it's a scam is that if you insist on cash on pickup, they will come up with an excuse for why they can't do that, and the payment method they insist on will always either be far too much or require you to pay some bogus account upgrade fee. The Facebook accounts may look legit because they're stolen. Yes, that's it. That's all there is to it right there. I don't care if anyone shows up and says, can my cousin pick it up? Nope, you're a scammer. F you. I don't even care if you actually are real. I'm sorry. No, I'm out. Grandma adopted a kid in India? Why are you asking me? I don't know. My 80-plus-year-old grandparents have been spending money or sending money to India for years. They think they adopted a little girl overseas through some program. They get photos and letters from her. I asked if they tried to, would they be able to meet her? She claims they can, but only with anecdotal evidence from their friends whom are also in their 80s and getting scammed. Obviously, this is a scam, but I need more information on it before I bring it to her. Are there any documented cases of this scam? A lot of charities do this. My father adopted 3 girls in Thailand whose families didn't want disabled children. He covered their education through high school, and when he died, I covered their university education. They're in their late 30s now and still keep in touch with me. Just thought I'd share a quick story from me and my wife's honeymoon. Old school scams are very much still alive. Me and my wife traveled to Spain this spring. We mostly stayed near Barcelona. However, we made a trip down to Granada? Grenada? I have no idea. By train. In Barcelona, we were never approached by anyone on the street. We talked to many people about our trip to Grenada or Granada, I don't know, prior to getting on the train, and were warned at least twice to keep a close eye on personal belongings. Upon arrival, we decided to walk from the train station to our Airbnb to see the town a little bit before making our way up to Alhambra. Again, I'm probably not pronouncing these correctly. About a half a mile or so from the train station, we rounded a corner where there were a few street vendors. As we passed by, an older lady came up to us and went to hand my wife a flower. I nearly pulled my hand's wife away, but I figured I'd let it play out. I used to do a bit of magic and know quite a bit of sleight of hand and how someone approaches you when they want to control a situation, and I could tell immediately that this was not going to be a normal interaction. Yeah, I love it when people do that. Here, take this. Thanks, man. Give me $50, asshole. As soon as my wife's hand was close enough, the lady grabbed her hand with her other hand and began drawing my wife's attention to the flower and telling a long-winded story about how those flowers would bring us fortune in our relationship. Another person had approached at this point, and all my alarm bells were ringing. As soon as the lady had grabbed my wife's arm, I began to slowly walk around to my wife's other side so that I could have a better view of what was happening. This was when the other person began watching. When I noticed them, I continued my little pace back and forth to let them know I was well aware of what was happening. Eventually, the onlooker got a little too close for comfort, so I intentionally stepped between them and my wife. It was at this point they kinda knew I was aware and had my guard up. The onlooker backed off a bit, and then I stepped to the side so as to keep an eye on both the old lady and the onlooker. At this point, the old lady started to try and ask for money, and I admittedly was a bit pissed at this point. I cut in and said we didn't have any money on us and we needed to get going. At some point, she had given given the flower to my wife. She asked again if we had any money, and my wife then repeated what I had said. The woman got quite visibly upset and took the flower back from my wife and mumbled angrily as she walked off, "Oh, the poor old piece of shit." I don't know if this will help anyone, but everything this lady did was textbook misdirection. If someone takes control of your hand in any way, yeah, don't touch me, and begins telling you a story, they are trying to rob you. The hand is a gentle enough way to get away with touching a stranger, and so the flower is a perfect way to do this. Then the story starts. Then they stare directly into your eyes or will try to guide your eyes to the flower. She kept the flower up at about shoulder level, along with one of my wife's hands. It would have been very easy to attempt to pickpocket from my wife's bags at this point. Now that I think about it again, the lady was very aware of me from the start. She tried to reposition to block my view at least twice that I could remember. Once was on approach. She intentionally turned in a way that would put me on the outside of the conversation, which ironically was part of why I immediately began pacing around. Then, when I got around to the other side, she rounded in on my wife so as to attempt to block my view. It's funny because really, really good pickpockets can get you even when you're watching them very closely. At some point, the onlooker moved off, but I don't remember when exactly that was. I noticed as we were leaving that he was now sitting at one of the stalls trying to sell stuff. I guess this is just a reminder to keep your wits about you, as I definitely did not expect an older woman to be the one to try and con us in our travels. If I remember right, she asked for like €10. The flower she had was very small, like fit in the palm of your hand small. Now, on the flip side, I did buy my wife a rose from someone who approached very much differently on La Rambla in Barcelona. I am not sure, again, if I said any of the names correctly. Probably not, but that's okay. In Rome, a common tactic was to approach you and toss a bead bracelet or other trinkets at you. Most people out of reflex try to catch it, at which point, the vendor will pressure you to buy it now that you're holding it. Well, like that's gonna work on me. No, dog, you don't get to throw something at me and then ask for money. I was having none of it and would basically use my hand like a racket and whack it away. The vendors were not pleased they had to run around and pick it up, but by that time, we passed and kept moving. My kid was hilarious with these guys. They'd slap the bracelet on and he'd say thanks and just keep on walking. Yeah, that happens over here, too, in the United States. Some people will show up and try to give you, like, beaded bracelets and ask for money. Look, if you want to sell me something, that's okay. I don't mind. I bought a stupid bead bracelet from a guy dressed as a monk once. I don't believe he was an actual monk. I did that. I gave him $20. I don't give a shit. How do I care? I got a cool bracelet, and that guy got $20. It didn't affect me in the slightest, all right? But that's me. Different situation. Did I just lose $6,000? I really hope not. I checked my banking information today to check on investments, and then I noticed that my savings account was rather low despite the fact that I had just cashed a massive check. Apparently, $6,000 was withdrawn, and the description said external withdrawal, Kraken Plaid with a 4-digit code ending for groceries. This occurred August 31st, and I just noticed it today. Damn. I don't use anything like that. I don't know how that even got approved, but I'm calling my bank first thing in the morning. Was I a victim of a scam I didn't know about? Is there anything I should do in the meantime until morning? My bank doesn't have 24/7 customer service, and I don't use crypto. I've already changed my passwords and my email. I just moved back into college, which is why I didn't notice this until right now. There are no branches of my bank near me. Edit. I called my bank, and they're getting my money back today and solving all the security problems with me. Thank you guys for the help. Honestly, amazing they were able to get that back, because generally, it seems like well over half the amount of times money is literally removed from your account like that, it's impossible to get it back and you're screwed, right? So if that is the case, which of course it is, why wouldn't it be? You just said it was. That is amazing, and I'm happy for you. This came in the mail. My mom actually bought this, but not for that price. So my mom bought these on eBay for around $60, not the price shown on the screenshot, and we received this today in the mail. They spent $11 USD to ship it with priority mail? Are you asking me? What do you... The delivery date and location is accurate. The name on the package, Barbara something, belongs to an 87-year-old lady from New Jersey. This package was shipped from her home, according to USPS tracking. The email written on the letter doesn't look like an email an 87-year-old would use. My mom's PayPal was charged, so this letter must be a lie. Only the seller or hacker should be able to see the order, which is what we're most worried about. The funny thing is, though, that the scammer only stands to gain like $70 from the whole affair and would most likely lose $11 if we didn't fall for it. So what is the point? You ordered these sandals with my credit card. Contact me at blank for reimbursement details. sandals. Let's see, $90 sandals? Huh? Interesting. Horrible print. I mean, just terrible print quality here. The eBay seller you purchased the item from is using stolen credit card information or compromised accounts on websites with stored card info to make purchases and then send them to people who buy from them. It's called a triangulation scam. The reason the old lady has screenshots is because it was her account that was compromised to make the purchase, so she can see the receipt as her account is the one that technically made the purchase. She's just trying to be nice, not knowing what was going on. There's nothing your mom needs to do, just ignore it and report the eBay seller. US. Police came to my house saying some woman was looking for her husband and my address was in his phone. Around 2 a.m., the police were ringing our doorbell saying there was a woman looking for her husband and said that she found our home address or our address in his phone. We've never heard of him. We did not answer the door. We spoke with them through the doorbell camera. After they left, I saw them go into the alley and talk to a car. The car drove off and they didn't follow it to help look for her husband. Could this be a scam? I'm thinking perhaps she was in the alley looking at our house and got caught and made up the missing husband. I would call the police station non-emergency number and ask them if it was actually police who showed up at your door in the middle of the night. If not, I'd file a report. If you have footage from the doorbell camera, I would submit that with the report as well. It could have been people trying to break in and rob you. That's what it sounds like to me, honestly. You know? It just gives me the heebie-jeebies, man. Someone is pretending to own my property? I can't even imagine how someone would pretend to do that. Let's see. I own a 2-family home. I live on the 2nd floor and rent out the 1st. I had the apartment listed for about 60 days trying to find the right tenant. I finally got a good fit. When the apartment was available, I had it listed on Zillow, Apartments.com, and Facebook Marketplace. Yesterday, a woman speaking broken English pulls up to my house and asks about it being available. I thought it wasn't that weird because up until about a week ago, I had a for rent sign up in my yard, so I thought maybe she was back in the area and noticed it was down. I told her it was occupied and now no longer available. She then shows me her phone and that she's in a conversation with someone on Facebook Marketplace who has my apartment listed for $680 a month, which is over 60% cheaper than the current market value. Oh no. I'm kidding. I told her it was a scam, which took a second to convey to her. She leaves and I immediately go on Marketplace and search my address and there it is. So I initiated a conversation with this person. It reeks to high hell of a scam, so I don't know how any logical person could trust it. But essentially, they wanted me to apply for it through a link before I even went and saw it. The fee was allegedly only $1 and they wanted a screenshot of my credit score. So I gave them a fake one and they told me to proceed, which I didn't. I just kept stringing them along and annoying them essentially. I'm genuinely curious how the scam works. The link they sent me actually seemed legit. I looked into it and found the company's address was coincidentally located in my home state. It even had a phone number to call, which I didn't because it was outside office hours. So I guess the screening process might be legit, and once you send them the screenshot, they ask you to send them money to secure the apartment? I feel violated. I've reported them and the listing multiple times. I feel bad for anyone falling for this and giving these people money. I also don't love people just showing up to my property randomly. I was thinking of posting on Facebook Marketplace a listing that calls out the scam and for people to watch out, or maybe I just leave it alone and carry on. The scam works by a scammer pretending to be a landlord or several properties or over several properties. Can't read today. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm sure yours is just one of many. They steal images from other listings on the internet, or in some cases, take their own photos of some properties if they're local. Once a prospective renter applies with a fake application, they get them to either Cash App or Venmo them deposits and first month's rent and then disappear once they have the money. The scammed renter then shows up at the property thinking they've secured a place when in actuality, they've been scammed, sometimes blaming the actual owner. The scammer now has the money and prospective renter's personal information. Booyah! US. Returned item scam. Why do I keep reading US? Doesn't matter. Returned item scam foiled. I sold a sale on eBay. I shipped it. Customer received it and claimed it was no good. He initiated a return for refund and registered a tracking number with eBay, purporting to be the sale going back to me. A few days later, I got an email from eBay saying the sale had been delivered to me and I should refund the purchase price to the buyer, but I had not received the sale. The post office tracking said I had, but I had not. I went through my recycling bin and found a piece of junk mail from the buyer. He apparently sent me that worthless envelope just to create false evidence of having returned the sale. I called eBay, they believed me, closed the case in my favor, and kicked the buyer off of eBay. Somehow, they knew within about 2 minutes. They just heard my issue, put me on hold, and came back saying the case is closed in your favor. When I called, I was still wondering what was going on. All I said to eBay was, I see the tracking says it's been returned, but I never got the sale back. It was only after the call and winning the case that I thought to go look through my recycling. Bought my scammer a shirt. Aw, good for them. That's nice of you. Hope this is the right Fortnite sub. I was in a breach, and whoever got my details failed to buy themselves a gaming laptop on Amazon. I secured my account, and their address was still saved, so I bought them a shirt, which arrived last week. Oh god, please tell me we get to see it. Nice. I just got throated at Chick-fil-A. Eat more baby. Haha. Sign them up for Scientology while you're at it. There's no worse thing we could do, like signing them up wise. She called me the Weenie King. Hey, I just want to ask if you're available for dinner tomorrow. Sure, Bugaboo. We roasting weenies at my place. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. It seems I got the wrong number. Let me guess. I am very much hoping I did not interrupt your day while you are a nice person. Let's get to know each other. Ah, but you have a look good and cool there. I'm real cool, and my weenies are hot. What's your name? Gerald Ulysses King. Everyone calls me the Weenie King because I'm always grilling weenies, if you know what I mean. It was nice to meet you, Gerald, and sounds like you really a king of weenies. My name is Mia Tan, or Tan? I don't know. This me, okay? Damn, you look like you could gulp a few glizzies yourself. They got weenies over there in the independent nation of Taiwan? Oh my god. Nope. I'm originally from Malaysia and residing here in Toronto for 18 years now because of my stepdad who's Canadian. I'm usually in the States for business matters. What about you? I'm a renegade. I roll with the evening tide like a tiger on amphetamines. But you can usually find me in the greater Saskatoon area laying pipe as our Lord and Savior intended. It seems you are not real. How old are you? I'm not real. Excuse me? 38, like my father before me. Do you have a WhatsApp? I think it's better to continue there and to have a video call, just to be sure that you are real. I always like it when they try to turn it around on you to verify that you are real. Like, okay. Message me here. WhatsApp? Is that like Updog? My son won't stop talking about Updog. Why are you concerned I'm not real? I showed you my weenie machine roaring at full blast. Does that mean nothing to you? I thought we were connecting, but now you're acting so suspicious. Where did I go wrong? Was it the tiger? My ex-wife always hated the tiger. Please. I've been waiting for your messages. Oh, thank God you replied. I was getting worried about you. Your business in the United States must necessarily take you to some dangerous places like Des Moines or Sheboygan. You really should consider moving somewhere safer like Saskatoon. This may seem forward, but I can't shake the feeling that you texting me by accident was an act of providence, ordained by God himself. This is gonna sound crazy, but I have to put all my cards on the table. Will you marry me? Be my weenie queen? Ha ha ha. You're such a funny man. Don't play with my heart. I need an answer. Do you have WhatsApp? I don't know why that bugs me so much, the WhatsApp crap. I wanted to have a video call. If you are a real man. A real man? Oh god. This is how things went south with my ex. I was never man enough for her. I mean a real human. LOL. As opposed to what? I've gotten ChatGPT to pretend to be my father and say it's proud of me, but I could never get it to make bespoke weenie photo edits. That's a Gerald Ulysses King special if there ever was one. Message me in WhatsApp. Not much. WhatsApp with you. I mean, see, there you go. That's as God intended right there. Beautiful Photoshop job. Someone hit me with the white van scam in this day and age. I was leaving Best Buy. Buy me? Oh, I see. And just got into my car in the parking lot. Big area, lots of people and employees chilling. A white van pulls up behind me, blocking my exit, and the doors open, and I think, okay, I've had a good life. Instead of Swiss cheesing me, two charismatic men got out and came to my window. They're cartoonishly bubbly with energy, like a car salesman after a third divorce and fourth coffee. Just a tidal wave of positive vibes, and man, I want to hook you up. We chat, mainly because it's a very public area, and my awkward ass needs a segue to tell them to move their car. The back of their van is filled to the absolute brim with sealed projector displays. The story is my boss ran a rental business for these and is going bankrupt and we're going to lose them anyway. Want one for $300? He pulls out an order receipt showing them that they were all bought for $8,000 a piece. Oddly enough, my first thought is, these are legit, but stolen. I'd later find out this was likely untrue, but the reaction was appropriate nonetheless. I kept repeating, I'm not your buyer, move the car. They pushed the sales press hard until I eventually just said no. Their faces morphed like something out of an old Gumby movie. They suddenly looked like hardened criminals just staring at me with how dare you as a buy, but didn't move to do anything. I felt a bit better noticing that there was a healthy mix of disappointment in their rage. I get back in my car and at the same time they close up the van and drive off. Where I was wrong was the assumption that they were stolen and the risk was buying fenced goods. That's overthinking. They were simply some $50 Alibaba projectors and a fake receipt suggesting they were serious blah 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 projectors a rental company would use. Where I was stupid. These two weren't a threat, but why the f did I get out of my cozy locked car? The scam is from the 80s, and I was shocked to see it play out in front of me today. Even more shocked that it didn't click for me what the white van was, or rather, that the white van was doing the white van scam. I feel like I might have experienced something similar recently where I live at a local Walmart. I mean, I say recently, it was like 8-9 months ago, maybe even a year at this point, but I remember coming back out to my car, and right before I get in, dude in a white minivan rolls up, pulls up next to me, and is like, "Hey man, look, I'm almost out of gas. Do you mind if I give you this golden ring or this cell phone or whatever the hell it was?" I can't remember exactly what it was, but I just went absolutely not, got in my car and left. And that's when I got home, I figured out that my gas cap was not closed. It was just open. I was very concerned. I mean, it wasn't open, like the little door was open, but the actual knob or lid or whatever you call it was not. So someone tried to steal my gas while I was in the Walmart, but I came out just in time because none had been taken and nothing had been put in, that's for sure.